Okay, still working on this Jeep carburetor. This is an Empi upgrade carburetor. It's 2-barrel versus the factory 1-barrel. And I got the brand new one installed over here. And I went ahead and did the major tune-up. Distributor cap, rotor, plug wires, plugs. Didn't change the coil, it's working pretty good. These Empis are fairly simple, but it's been a while since I worked on one. And of course the manual says it's factory set up, no worries. More on that later. Anyway, you got your, it's going to be kind of hard to do this one-handed. Your main air fuel mixture is right here. Okay, your low idle stop adjustment is in here behind this plate. It's hard to see. Okay, your fast idle adjustment actuates a little cam is up here. Look for screws with springs. It's real simple. Okay, so you get all that set, and my indication was I started up on choke when it's cold, and it bust off just fine, run maybe a quarter of a second, and then start to overfeed with fuel and flood out something fierce. I'm blowing unburnt fuel and carbon out the exhaust pipe. Just a big old mess. So, kept on digging around. These are your choke plates. I call them butterflies. The original set point from the factory, they were fully closed on choke. Alright, well, how do you adjust that? Over here on the end, you've got this retainer with 3 screws. You loosen those, and you actually rotate your clockwork. There's a spring behind here called a clockwork for your electric choke, and you rotate it clockwise, and that will hit the point where your butterflies are partially open and not completely closed. This is an older carburetor, it's about 8 years old. The new one, when it's on full choke, the butterflies are completely closed. There's hardly no clearance at all. So the solution was loosen up my little spring, or my 3 screw retainer, rotate the clockwork clockwise until my butterflies started to open a little bit. I set them at about right there. Now, I can't show you diddly squat because I got the thing started on the choke, verified the fast idle at about 1800 RPM, popped it off of choke, butterflies went fully open. Then I fiddled with the main fuel air mixture, which is down here on the bottom again, right here. Fiddled with it, got it set, and then the engine's warmed up, so I gotta wait for it to be cold again before I can check the adjustment on my choke butterflies. So this is the process. You're not going to do it all at once. And over here on these Empis, this is kind of important. This is a fuel pressure regulator coming off your mechanical lift pump. Empis have to have this. It also has to have a dual exit fuel filter. This is your inlet from the lift pump. This line here, the one closest to the edge, actually goes back to your fuel tank. The one in the center on the fuel filter is the inlet to your regulator. Go over here is the inlet to your carb. There's also a filter screen right here where my finger is on the bottom of this assembly here. This is the little filter. So it's warmed up now, so it's going to be difficult for y'all to see what I'm talking about because I'm going to be starting in a warm condition. It's completely off the choke right now. It turns over about 1.5, 2 times and it busts right off. And when I pulled the plug, they were butt ugly. I mean, they were ugly. This plug was running too cold. I don't think it's the right plug. Completely carbon buildup. the rotor. Get a little ride on the end. Same thing on the points on the distributor cap. They have a little bit of iffiness to them. But the plugs, they were shot. So I got a rag down here. I'm going to wait and clean that unburnt fuel and carbon out of the exhaust system, just run the piss out of it. It'll eventually clean itself out. So, also got my tack working. It was a loose wire coming off the coil. It senses RPM somewhere on the coil, I guess. I was fiddling with the coil wires, making sure I had good connection there. All of a sudden my tack starts working. Downright strange. But hey, we got a working tack. I'm happy. Anyway, I'll be a while unloading this thing, so that's all for this one. Thank you.